House of Blurs presents There Will Be Spoilers. This set of There Will Be Spoilers, we will be re-spoiling. I guess it's not really spoiling since
it's been out for a good
and we've watched it several times. But Game of Thrones. So we're gonna be doing Game of Thrones rewatches each week, and probably spoil some of the shit on the end. But this week we are your hosts. This is Nicole.
I'm Armani here.
Got Armani here, and then we have special friend of the show sitting in as co-host as well this week, Mo.
Hey, welcome. Yo, what's happening, people?
So, you yourself are a super nerd, and a TV and movie aficionado. So it's only fitting that you should be on the There Will Be Spoilers for sure.
I mean, you don't have to throw the super in there. You know what I mean? Well, I like to dabble in the nerdiness from on occasion.
Dabble?
And so, no, I'm not dabbling. You know what I mean? I am one, but the super, you're taking a little far with the super. But I accept that. I'm cool with it. I rock with it.
If you have a Crunchyroll login, you're a super nerd.
Touche. Can't even front. I definitely had a Crunchyroll. It's thoroughly watched. There's a long list. It's not just Crunchyroll for one show. It's a few shows on there. So yeah. You're right. I'll take that bet.
Anime nerds are a whole nother special
genre.
Yeah.
Right. That catalog is ridiculous. Like, you can't, if you're a real anime nerd like that, it is a long catalog of shows and movies, and yeah, it's tough.
Hence super. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right in episode 1 of Game of Thrones. So we all watched this series when it first aired and have watched it multiple times since. But I don't feel like I've ever actually sat down and dissected it as much as I have this week, going back and rewatching it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm starting to just notice some things that kind of started to stick out that I didn't notice before. But it's kind of okay. So episode 1, we meet the Starks.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that's where it starts off at. We meet the Starks. We get the deserter from the wall. We get the first glimpse of the White Walkers. So I have to say, so that was like the first thing for me.
Right.
We saw the White Walker in this episode, but I don't think I really thought about White Walkers again until for a while.
I didn't think about them until they were at the wall. It was actually they were fighting the White Walkers.
Wait, you talking about? Nah, yeah, touche. Because I didn't really. I mean, hold on. Before we even get into this, are we staying with these first couple episodes? Or are we going far to talk about how? Because I'm with y'all. I didn't really think about them then until a certain part of the season that we might not want to spoil this early.
Well, we're gonna roll with this under the assumption that everyone who's listening to this has already watched this entire series at least one time through.
Okay.
What a recap. Right. We can touch on later stuff, but we won't deep dive into it.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're right. I didn't really focus on the severity and seriousness of how they was really about to just. Can we cuss on the show? Because I cuss.
First off, yes, because I cuss.
I know you cuss too, but I've listened to the podcast quite a few times, and you ain't really getting into the profanity. Let me know. I can censor myself. I'm just saying.
No, not at all. This is a completely uncensored.
Okay, well, I'm saying I didn't think that those motherfuckers was real until Hardhome. Listen.
Yeah.
Listen. I did not understand the severity of how real they were until I seen that episode, and I was like, yeah, y'all need to get it together, because they not playing.
Shit finna get real.
Yeah, when he did the little Undertaker arm raise, listen, we gonna get into that. Like you said, we not gonna touch on it too much, but I was like, man. So you guys are right. Looking at this first episode, of course, if you didn't really know what's going on and you came out the gate just starting from day one and not knowing, I'm like, what was that? What was that white thing with blue eyes?
The devil.
Right.
I don't want to elaborate on that too much. So we get Ned comes off as this, just head of the family,
Extra honorable kind of guy.
Honorable guy, kills the deserter, explains to Bran why he had to do it, makes him out there, we get all the Stark kids. We see, because that's when they stumbled upon the direwolf puppies.
Right.
We got to see a little bit of kind of relationship between like Jon and Robb and Theon. We discover who the fuck Theon is, and he's a ward. That's when
everybody was still together at that point.
Okay, so that's where I'm like going. Like that's what I'm about to get into.
It's a big happy family on the low, man.
Yeah, they're just out playing in the woods, and each kid got a puppy. First off, it's funny because Jon picked up those puppies and was like, "Oh, it's one for each one of your Stark kids." Like, who the fuck said they could have a dog? Like, you just
like you just handing them out like it's just like this easy. Is hey, everybody got a puppy. Like on some Oprah, you get a puppy.
Yeah. And Ned at first was like, "No, it's too much work. Y'all can't have him."
Right.
He was like,
kill everybody. What you mean? You right? Hold on. So how you gonna be honorable and then you trying to murk all these puppies, man? And they puppies.
Yeah, that's true. Because he was really just like ready to kill them all.
Yeah.
First of all, I couldn't kill a puppy. I would have just.
No, I'm gonna just leave them. I'm sorry. Like I couldn't kill them, but if I'm acting in that way, I might just let them be. I don't know. I'm taking them. I'm just in this us right now. Like I'm taking them, but I'm not gonna kill them. You just gotta let them be.
For sure, gonna have 5 big ass dogs in the house.
Yeah.
Like,
my thing is, I would have thought that would have been his first thought for the fact that is the sigil of their house.
Right.
Like that's not some type of protected species up there in the north.
And still not knowing if this is somebody coming out the gate, freshly watching the show, I wouldn't be knowing that because you didn't see him. You know what I'm saying? Like you saw the part of the show in the beginning where you're not really knowing if there are really dogs and stuff like that around. And I didn't. Of course, we know what a direwolf was. I'm not knowing it. Week 1 they're gonna be puppies, and week 2 they're gonna be full wolves.
Yeah, because that's pretty much what the fuck happened.
It was like literally later on in the episode, just like, oh, okay, so you a child now, and next you about to be a wildebeest bear thingy.
Yeah, because they grew pretty damn fast.
Very.
Jon, we learn, he's the bastard, so that we get the whole Snow name thing.
Mm-hmm.
He got his little white puppy. I totally would have took the white puppy as well.
Mm-hmm.
That fucking thing was adorable.
Oh, white puppy with red eyes.
Yeah, that thing was so cute. Okay, so go a little further into the episode. The kind of big part of this was the Lannisters coming to Winterfell because Jon Arryn, Hand of the King, died. So they were coming to. Actually, no, they were just coming. Did they just think they were coming to visit? Because they didn't know at that point.
Nah, because Catelyn told Ned that they were coming after she told him Jon Arryn died, so they knew what he was coming for.
Right. They already knew that's his boy, and he was going to need a hand. So she knew what was up. They already knew what was up.
So they get there, and this is when we first get to see Cersei. And rewatching it, it's like, oh, all the shit that you're about to do. It's just like
all right, I got a hot take on Cersei.
What's that?
Quick hot take. See, I'm new to the podcast. I'm going to say something very unpopular.
Oh.
I'm a big villain fan. I like villains. But not just in this show, just in general. I love villains, especially when you have that good hero. You need the Joker for every Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't like her at first. And just like you said, you're not realizing when you're watching the show in the beginning the things she's about to do. I hated Cersei at first. later on as the show progressed, I started really liking her because she was ruthless. I like a good ruthless villain.
There was a time there is an episode where we get to a point in the show where I do become a Cersei fan. Like, all right, I'm kind of here for this. Like, I don't want her to die anymore as much as I want her to die. Like, the last, like, you do get to that point. And even this early on, aside from the whole sleeping with her brother thing, because obviously that happens in this episode. Right. It's like, they just had omitted that, she would have been a way more relatable character. Like,
sure.
Because that's like... Go ahead, what you about to say?
Nah, I was just piggybacking on what you were gonna say. I agree. Like, they trying to play it off, and the same way we're in Game of Thrones, where I'm big on, like, you could die, not a you can die like a you can die like I want you off the show. Like, that's how I felt about Jaime at first. I didn't feel that way about Cersei at first. I didn't like her, but I didn't want her to die. Mm-hmm. But just keep it a buck with it. Like, we know what it is. Y'all are nasty.
Cersei is one of those villains for me where it's like, I'm not saying I agree, but I understand and I respect it.
Yeah, she was definitely like it was about her family.
Yeah, right. Like, she's gonna do what she has to do to get her family at the top.
That's all she cared about. If it's not family, they're enemies, and it ain't nothing against anybody else. I'm just repping for my family over everybody.
Facts. So we also meet Tyrion.
Homie.
Yeah, Tyrion is easily probably for me 2 or 3 in favorite characters from Game of Thrones.
He's probably the most likable out the gate.
Easy. He is easily the most likable person off the back. Like, at this point in the series, you're like, okay, that guy's number 1. Right. Like, he's funny. He's just real with his commentary, things he says. I'm here for it. So we get a cut away from Winterfell for a minute, and we get introduced to the Targaryens. So we meet Daenerys.
That's my bae. That's bae right there.
Poor thing. Like, just off the bat, like, her brother, he's the one person who came out the gate as an asshole, though.
Yo.
Yeah, like, really, he was the one you didn't want him to win. You didn't want him to be king.
Numero uno on the Game of Thrones hit list. He was, it had a wanted poster in the Wild West. Like, Viserys needed to go. I wanted him gone immediately. The kid I hate characters like that, because now if I ever see him somewhere else, I'm going to be like, I don't like that dude. He played Viserys on Game of Thrones. And I don't like him in this romantic comedy. I don't care.
I don't think I've ever IMDb'd that guy to see what else he was in either.
That's why. There's a reason why. I don't care about you, sir, because you played a character that I despised.
Oh, for real. And okay, so that's one of those problematic things too, because it's like, you can see the way he touches Dany, the way he does stuff, which kind of makes you think, has he been abusing her, like, sexually, like, since they were kids? Like, has this weird thing been going on?
I'm sure. I'm pretty positive that's because you see how her reaction to him touching her is just, she's not okay with it, but she fears him, so she's not going to do anything about it. So I'm sure that could be a thing.
That's just terrible. But he is taking her to trying to marry her off to meet the Dothraki. So he's giving her to Khal Drogo.
Shout out Aquaman.
Yo, okay, so that was one of the things. Like, I was like, yo, she about to marry Aquaman.
Shout out to homie Aquaman. Quick side note, man. I'm kind of glad that I'm an Amazon Prime member, because you get to see Aquaman a week early. You're a Prime member.
Oh, really? We're gonna discuss this later.
Man, random. Don't judge me, but I'm definitely gonna go see Aquaman on the 14th instead of the 21st.
Since on all the episodes we always go off on tangents, so this is not anything new for anyone who's listening. So since we're on Aquaman at the moment for a brief second, I didn't really care. Like, when I watched Justice League, I was like, I'm not gonna pay to go. As much as I love Jason Momoa, I'm not gonna pay for Aquaman. Like, I'm not going to do it. It just
so you can't pay depending on what movie theater you go to. You can't pay your your matinee $5 to go see your boo with a shirt off for 2.5 hours.
Okay, so that's the thing, like I said, I wasn't like at first I wasn't really feeling it, so I was probably gonna go the matinee route. But now, like since all the trailers have come out, like it looks like it's gonna be a damn good movie. Like this will probably be the second best DC movie, like after Wonder Woman. I think this will definitely be there, and I feel like Mira is not getting the due that she deserves yet because the movie hasn't come out. But I feel like Amber Heard about to kick ass in this movie.
Yeah, they haven't really. I don't know. Maybe I feel like they're doing that on purpose. They want to kind of surprise the audience, quote unquote, surprise the audience with a badass character. But I'm a prisoner of habit. I've already seen like the lead ups to these, so it's just like out of habit, I have to go see this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I unfortunately was dating a girl. I had no intent. Like, we're going off on another tangent, but this is why I have to see Aquaman. I was unfortunately dating a girl that I'm no longer seeing years ago, and I had no intention of seeing the Twilight movies, but she wanted to go see them. While we were dating, we watched like the first 3 Twilight movies together. Well, guess what? We broke up, and 2 more Twilight movies came out. Guess what I gotta go do? I gotta go see the Twilight movies.
At that point.
So I was a prisoner of habit. I've already seen the first 3. I'm not gonna not finish out this series in the movie theater. I gotta go see it. So I mean, I've seen the other movies, so I have to see this continuation of Aquaman after Justice League.
Yeah, and then it's like, what the fuck are they gonna do? But
I'm shrugging my shoulders on it because they failed so miserably in comparison to Marvel that I'm just like, you know, I'm excited to see it, but nowhere near as excited as I am to go see, you know, Captain Marvel, Avengers, Spider-Man. I'm just like, why not?
Yeah, I feel like these DC movies have definitely become like the great value superhero.
Oh, what a great comparison. What a great comparison. The great value comparison. Yes. I love it. But big facts, very true. I can't disagree.
Okay.
Very bland. The unseasoned version of Marvel.
Yeah, it's like you on a budget. It was the budget.
Right. I need to make this dinner, but I only got $11.43. And DC was like, we got to rock with $11.43 to make this fantastic dinner. It's not gonna happen.
Some ramen and some hot dogs.
Right.
That's so terrible.
Ramen and hot dogs, man. That's what it is. Cup of noodles, head asses.
So back to Game of Thrones. So we get Khal Drogo, the Dothraki are presented as these like wild ass mountain creature or desert dudes with like no home training. That's kind of how they're presented. But so we get that little intro. They get introduced. She looks nervous and scared as fuck. But Drogo just rides off on his horse. And then back to the Starks again. And we got Sansa progress. Stupid ass. Ugh. It's poor baby. Like,
right.
Already know, like, because obviously we know what the fuck she goes and what's coming. But watching her profess her love for Joffrey and just the way she was treating Arya.
Her whole family.
It's like you just
Arya specifically, obviously.
Yeah. And you know what? To me, that I also hated that because it's like you two are the only girls in this house full of dudes, and like you just don't give 2 shits about your little sister. Like you just
episode 1, and it's just like, sorry, little sis, I love this dude that I ain't never met before, and I hate your guts. I want to be with him, and I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to be nice to him.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna let you ruin it. Basically.
It's a headache because that was one of my more, as the series progressed, I loved her character development because of what I love her. Those are my probably. I mean, I know John went through a lot, but all 3 women like main when you really get into the 3 main characters of the good guys to me, in the show. I love Sansa's character development. I love Arya's, and I love Dany's because we seen what Cersei was out the gate for the most part.
Yeah.
But their character development was really good. But it's frustrating to see it now and relive it now and see how dumb Sansa was in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, and in this episode, a couple like key things that were pointed out. So Sansa's 13 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So she's 13 years old. Other thing that was also mentioned, it takes a month because I thought this was important, like just for other shit, like as far as through the series. It takes a month to go from Winterfell to King's Landing. That's a month ride, a 1 month ride.
Yeah, with a small caravan of people, too, mind you.
So, like that's one of the things. Like now, I'm just like keeping in my mind as I'm further watching this show. Cause I'm like, how the fuck would y'all getting all over the place like so quick? It's like sometimes they made it seem really long getting places, and then other times it was like boom, boom, we here. Like how? Like how did you get there so quickly? Like what are you doing?
Right. That's another aggravating aspect of the show from time to time because there'll be times where we're watching something and we're waiting on it to develop and they take forever in the show. We're just like, yo, just speed it up. And then there's other times when, just like you said, it's you go from one end of the world to the other end in like half episode. Like, oh, okay.
For real.
I guess that's what we're doing right now.
What's the name? Varys, time traveling.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh my lord, you were absolutely right. He got a time machine in his boats. And you know what? He bewitched or something. He keep wiggling the nose.
For real. So let's see what else happened this episode. In this episode was when Dany and Drogo were actually married, because then we get the Dothraki party.
The Khalasar.
We get introduced to the Khalasar. All the crazy, they're basically their wild sex killing party.
Correct.
Basically, yeah.
That's what it was. We get introduced to Jorah Mormont of Bear Islands. This is the first time we get to meet Jorah. This is when Dany's given the dragon eggs as a wedding gift.
Her babies.
Her babies, yes. It is also mentioned at this point that Dany is 16. I think Dany is about 16 at this point. So that means...
So, to be perfectly honest, you guys are filling me in on some facts that I didn't know on the show. Like, I've like to think that I am a Game of Thrones connoisseur, but I was never really paying attention or learning the ages of like how young and older people were in the show. This is news to me.
And this only like, and that's why I said like I took notes. Like,
I took notes too because you guys were saying, but I just wasn't paying attention to ages. Like I really never focused on, I guess, the ages of the characters in the show.
I think for me the only reason like I really started to think about it is because when I had went back and read the books.
Mm-hmm.
In the books, the ages play because they're so much younger. They're portrayed young in the books. Mm-hmm. I think Robb was like maybe 13.
Yeah, he was around 13 when he took over Winterfell.
Yeah, so exactly. So I would say age them for the show because there's no way to have a 13-year-old kid. That's like having fucking Bran running around doing everything Robb was.
Yeah, seriously.
But just imagine.
That's wrong because you're wrong for that too. I was kind of mean, Bran running around.
Oh damn! You know what?
That's pretty evil.
Also in this episode, wait, was that
segue? I was about to say segue.
Yeah, since you bring that up.
Same episode.
Same episode. Bran sees
the spider monkey that he is.
Yeah, he made that shit look so easy climbing up there.
Yeah.
Poor baby. Gets up there, sees Jaime and Cersei doing what they doing.
Busting it down.
You were just rude for being at someone else's house, and like you couldn't wait till y'all got back to like you couldn't wait a month.
You in the castle attic busting it down.
I mean, just these are hella house guests. Yeah. So Jaime throws his ass out the window from that damn tower, and it's just like that for me was probably the jaw-dropping moment. Like, holy shit, that just happened.
That's
first episode too.
When a friend of mine for years was trying to get me to watch the show, because I will admit, to the fans of the show, I was a very late joiner of the Game of Thrones family. I have said my piece and I have made my amends. I was wrong. I didn't join until the beginning of season 7. When I finally watched the first episode, because my friend was like, "Hey man, just watch the first 2 episodes, and if you don't like the first 2 episodes, like, just don't watch the show." Once he Hadouken Bran out the window, I was like, "Yeah, I'm in." And I watched 6 seasons in like a week. It's a long week for me.
Kind of like what you just did with Harry Potter.
Yeah, very, very much so. I watched, for the other fans of the podcast, I just joined the Harry Potter family about 3 weeks ago.
Awesome.
Saw Fantastic Beasts on TV, and I was like, "Oh, it's pretty dope. Let me catch up." And I watched 8 Harry Potter movies in like 2 days. 3 days. Yeah, 3 days. And then watched Fantastic Beasts, the sequel. So it was a very long week for that one, too. But yeah, I was hooked. You locked me in on that one. You can't push the Warden of the North Sun out the window. That's not good.
And think shit's not think it's not gonna get real.
Yeah, like no questions are gonna be asked.
Right. Especially everyone knowing how just like they said, everyone knows that Bran was a spider monkey, literally climbing castles like it's nothing, and he just miraculously falls one time. You've never fallen before. When Rob said that, you've never fallen, and now you want to fall.
Good old Rob. I think he's a smart one at first. So a couple key points in this first episode. This episode, because at the end of this episode is when Benjen had showed up too during this episode, and he's taking Jon to the wall because Jon's gonna take the black. I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess I could see why.
Because it's like he wasn't doing nothing at Winterfell. Like he was being treated like outcast.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have any real connection. I feel he felt like he didn't have any real connection.
Okay, so Jon
with anybody, especially Kat, because Kat gave him the dirtiest look and told him you need to slide when he went to go say peace to Bran.
Yeah, that like I was like, damn, bitch, I understand. Like you would think after all of these years, you might have grown. Like he showed up as a baby, and it's like it wasn't his fault. But you like literally took this out on him for 16 years, and you would assume at this point, because you're going to assume that they're about 15, 16 as well. So 15, 16 years, you still blaming this child for the transgressions of your husband?
Yes, this is a child. He didn't ask to be here. He didn't do all this. Why are you taking that on him?
Yeah, that was pretty. I hated that part. I was like, damn, chill out. But so this episode actually marks the last time we're together.
Jeez, the last. I literally noticed that because you told me, we talked about the other day.
Yeah.
In the text. And you told me that. And then I rewatched it and I was like, yo, it's mad early in the show and it was the literal last time.
The last time that Rob, that all the boys were together.
Mm-hmm.
Last time Jon sees Arya, because even where we're at now in the show, they still have not been reunited yet.
They still have not. He got the Raven, and he knows, but he still hasn't seen her.
Yeah, so it's like, damn, this is the last time Jon sees Ned. And he, when he told him, "I'll tell you about your mother the next time we see each other," and it's like, that never happened.
Right.
At that point, I feel like we should have known. Anytime any character exclaims, like, "The next time I see you, I'll let you know," they're not coming back.
Somebody.
Hey, Benjen too. I mean, he sees him again, but we'll get to that part of the show. Jon sees Uncle Benjen again, but
Benjen ain't the same.
Benjen ain't the same. Not even a little bit.
Important Ned. Well, we should have known. The fact that we thought Sean Bean was going to survive anyway, like that dude doesn't survive in anything he's in. Like he dies in every movie he's in anyway. So we probably should have known that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to happen like it happens. But episode 2, let's see. The Lannisters are still in the north.
Out the gate, one of my favorite moments of the Tyrion and Joffrey relationship. Yes. He pimp snatched that boy like 6 times. Pow, 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 pow. Go run to your mommy, little one. I thoroughly enjoyed that one.
Yo, literally, I wrote down Joffrey's an asshole and Tyrion's not here for it.
Pimp smack. Multiple. You get all of them baby hands. Them pimp hands.
Yeah, that's when you really realize, okay, Tyrion is gonna be that one person who was just literally gonna just keep it 100 on the show. Like he was about to kiss nobody's ass.
At all.
I feel like he was like the voice of reason for the Lannisters.
The sad part about that, you being right, he's the voice of reason, but it's like nobody wants to hear him.
Yeah.
Because everybody's in their own world mentally of figuring out how they want to pinky in the brain take over the world type joint. And nobody wants to listen to the guy that, just like you said, from this episode to really the current, last episode of season 7, that like, he's been the voice of reason for everybody.
Yeah. Yep. The most like the drunk. The drunk is the one who thinks things out the most. It's just like
the drunk imp that sleeps with whores is the one that is giving literally everybody good advice.
The best. We see how conniving Cersei truly is, because when she went to, after she found out that Bran was still alive, and walked up into the room with Catelyn sitting in there, and was talking about how her baby with Robert died, and mustering up all that fake ass, like, for a second you start to feel bad for, until you remember, like, bitch, you're the reason he's in this position. Like, you told me to push him.
No, she didn't tell him.
Well, I was gonna say, right.
He pushed her on his own.
Well, he said he's seen us. I mean, what the fuck else? What was she implying? I mean, she's implying that you need to kill him. Like,
no, because even then, she told Jamie, she's like, he was 10. Like, what were you thinking? Like when he pushed her out, when she pushed him out the window.
As he grabbed on her titties again. Like, come on, man. That's another thing that low-key, it's a show, so you don't really, it's fake. It's fake, but still, like, incest isn't the greatest thing mentally, and when you keep seeing that, we know it's not real per se, but it's just like, it still doesn't make you feel good. Like, come on, bro, that is your sister.
Your twin sister.
Yeah, yes. Come on, bro, you extra. You really extra.
So episode 2, actually, before I totally skipped over, was called The King's Road. So this is actually the one where Jon leaves, and this is when Jon gives Arya Needle. When he gives her little sword, and we get to see that nice bonding between the two of them. That again, we don't get to see. We have not seen again yet.
Really? Yeah, I keep thinking about that now. Like, we don't see that ever again.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Like,
Arya call this the sad podcast, because geez, I'm getting all sad, reminiscing on the show. Now I got to watch 6.5 seasons in 3 days again.
Which is really about what's about to happen.
All right, so I can see Arya on the come up.
Her and Nymeria. So we do
Damn it! Again with the sadness.
Yeah, we get her hanging out with Nymeria. Let's see. Oh, and this is when Jon, when he had told her, when she was like, do you know how to use it? And he was like, yeah, just stick them with the pointy end. So we get that, and that's said several times over this series. But it was just like, it was Jon. So yeah, you're right. All these sad Jon and Arya moments just. Actually,
I mean, I'll be back. I gotta go get some tissue.
I'm
playing. This guy's goddamn thug tears over here. Sad moments of the show that you don't realize until you watch later, and then go back and be like, "Damn."
Yeah, that's how I feel.
This didn't happen.
And I have, in this episode is when Robert told Ned that he wanted to kill Dany?
When they were at that feast.
Oh yeah. Because he realized that there's still Targaryens alive, and
Actually, I feel like no, because the first episode, as soon as Robert got there, he wanted to go to the crypt to go see Ned's sister.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he was like, he wanted to kill all the Targaryens.
Yeah, because she's still out there. We see Rickon for the first time in episode 2. I feel like it's like the first and like of 3 times we see that kid. Like
he was the Judy from Family Matters of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Man, we seen Judy like 4 times in Family Matters, and then she went upstairs and never came back again.
Rickon just stayed in them crypts. Like he stayed playing below the fucking house. And
Shaggy Dog.
Him and Shaggy Dog. That's so damn sad. Let's see.
Because we know how that ends too.
Yeah. Oh man, that shit was the worst.
Yo. Hey, another random tangent. Best episode of the series?
Are we gonna give our best episodes this early?
No, we're not. But it's the quick. It's the quick side note tangent that we're gonna come back to. But is that the best episode of the series?
That was what the Battle of the Bastards?
Yeah, that's
Battle of the Bastards.
I feel like I have to rewatch Hard Home.
Yeah, I was gonna say that and Hard Home is easily top 3.
Hard Home is when they went to that village to go try to get the wild things, right?
Yeah.
When the White Walkers came.
And then the Night King was at the top of the hill, and then it got really, really real.
Yeah, I mean, Battle of the Bastards was obviously the best cinematic.
For sure.
Episode. There's a couple other ones I feel like I gotta rewatch before because I would have said that to going into this, but now like rewatching this, I'm like, okay, there's a couple, because I also feel like the episode where we lost the Septa Baylor, like that episode, which I don't remember what it's titled at this point.
Yeah.
To me, may have been one of like the visual best episodes as well. Like I think that almost might have been better than Battle of the Bastards.
Like just early hot take.
Visually and musically.
Yeah, like just the music with it, like just the way that episode flowed. Yeah, okay. We got some time.
Yeah, we got time. Just early hot take.
Because I also got to remember what the name of the episode was. So Bran is in his coma. Everybody's by his bed. Everybody's leaving at this point, and Kat says she gonna stay. Her and Rob staying there because a Stark has to stay in Winterfell at all times. I didn't necessarily understand why Ned took Arya and not Rickon. Like,
we already know why he took Rickon, because Rickon was on the show for like 3 days.
They didn't have enough budget for that.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just starting out.
They had 11:47, and they was like, we got to bring 2 kids. Who can we bring? You know, Arya gonna get into trouble, and Sansa gonna marry Joffrey. So, Rickon, you go ahead and stay in the basement, brother, and play with Shaggy Dog.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, I guess, and honestly, Kat saying she needed to stay to make sure Bran was okay was why she stayed and didn't go with her kids.
Well, she wasn't gonna go originally, though, before he even fell. Because that's why she told him no. She's like, you could say no.
Okay, so why the fuck was she gonna stay there? Like, if you're taking my daughters, I'm coming. Like, you're not taking my daughters, and then I'm not.
But why are you coming? He would have. I mean, Arya's gonna be Arya there because she's younger, but if you're gonna marry Sansa off to the prince, why would you need to go? Because she's gonna eventually start her new life with the king's son.
But the mother of the bride, shouldn't she be there to help guide Sansa?
She'll be there. She'll take that month ride for the wedding.
I thought they weren't getting married until they came of age, though.
Exactly. So your mom's not going to go and just sit there for years.
It just seemed like a whole lot of like man.
Like Sansa's the only one that should have went.
Really, to be perfectly honest, she should have been the only one that went. Prepared for her future life, get accustomed to King's Landing, and
Yeah.
And getting ready to get abused because we know what's on deck.
Oh, yeah. Jocko's crazy ass. So we get the attempt on Bran's life.
Again.
Yo, Kat was a fucking G, though. Like, watching her grip that knife again and dude, like, pulling it out of her hands, like, that shit was tough to watch again. Like, just, ugh, that just, watching.
And then she bit his thumb like a chicken nugget.
She was
put
up a hell of a fight.
What was Brandon's brother's name?
That's Summer.
Summer. I was about to ask that question because I didn't remember either.
Yeah.
Summer comes up in there and
saves the day.
Cat was a G. Summer was a thug. Summer wasn't having none of that. Give me that throat real quick.
So we get to see the first direwolf in action. So we know they're no joke at this point.
Not a game. Not even a little bit. I'm going straight for the jugular. Then I'm going to lay down with the bloody mouth.
And just take a nap. Just chill out.
I'm taking a nap. I'm tired. That wore me out a little bit. So I'm going to take a nap.
I'm still a puppy.
That's what it was.
Right.
Puppy.
Right. It's episode 2, and that puppy is went from a puppy to a grown-ass man in one episode. Hold up. He's an animal. He's a grown-ass man dog. Man wolf in one whole episode.
So we get to Daenerys and Drogo's wedding night. Actually, we've gone through a few nights with them. Like, there was a few things going on that they showed with, like,
their relationship.
Yeah, just kind of like a couple days in the life of a Dothraki was going on there. And that's when Dany asked old girl to give her lessons on
how to please Drogo.
Yeah, so she's not just like they're like a limp biscuit.
Damn limp biscuit. That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely what was going on in those first couple nights.
I mean, she was adjusting. It's just like.
And
I couldn't imagine being in the culture because it's still real. This is obviously Game of Thrones is a fantasy world, but that arranged marriage thing is still very real in cultures in the States today. So I wouldn't know how I react in arranged marriage. I'm like, bro, I don't know you. Now I gotta be your wife and give up the cakes.
Yeah, and even then, she had no way to like communicate with him either.
Yeah, they can speak the same language.
You're not gonna have Jorah in there breaking it down while y'all. Carl said turn over. Like, no, it don't work like that. So it's kudos to her trying to learn her new culture because that you were very much part of that because you are the Khaleesi.
Yeah, she gets her little lesson and then she takes control and shows Aquaman who's boss.
Right. Then we slide back to the bitch ass nigga that is Joffrey.
Oh my god. So that whole thing, so the whole him walking up on Arya and the fucking butcher's son practicing and just like coming up there talking shit. And it's like you don't even really like Sansa. Like you've already asked, like, because he had asked earlier, like, well, do I have to marry her? And his mom's like, yeah.
That was after though. That was after.
Well, I mean, he revisited it back again, but I think before that, she was like, yeah, she's nice. So and it's just like, all right, you got embarrassed a little bit. The dog bit you. Because Nymeria, like, was he really gonna fucking stab Arya? Like, was you really about to like hurt her?
That was my situation. Like, what were you really about to do in it? Like, you about to come to Winterfell and kill one of them? No, they were on King's Road.
They were on the way back home now.
Like, yeah, she mad because you punked her friend, and then you slicing him in the face with your sword because obviously the kid with the wooden sword isn't about to fight a prince of the family who runs the 7 kingdoms. He not gonna do nothing. So Arya get mad. You hit him in his back, like nothing crazy. You ain't like bust him in the back of his head. Which is basically like, get off my friend. And just like y'all said, are you really about to kill the Warden of the North's daughter right now because you upset?
Like, these kids are pretty damn deadly. Like, that's just some crazy shit right there. Like, that's even a thought. Like, this boy, he'd be a serial killer, I guess, in this day and age. Like, Easy.
He'd be that Norman Bates.
Yeah, there you go. Norman
He
Bates.
Chucky. He Chucky all day.
Poor Chucky. Like, it's just fucking bad. And then, he sits there and he lies about it, tells that bold-faced ass lie to his dad.
Bald-headed, bold-faced lie.
And, again, moment 2 where you start the... I don't know. I don't think I originally even felt bad for Sans in this scene. I was like, oh, this bitch is gonna lie. Like, when I first watched it, I was like, you're just gonna sit there and lie and not tell the truth and let your sister get in trouble for this. But then it's like, okay. When Ned explained it to Arya later, like, what was she supposed to do? Like, she was brought before the queen and she was supposed to, get her future husband in trouble. Like, she wasn't gonna do that. But...
And it's not like she exactly sided with their story either. She was kind of like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, well, that didn't go too well for her because her poor damn dog gets sentenced to death. So, we're on episode 2, and we're already losing our first direwolf as well.
Awesome nonsense. Like, if there's anything that I hate in any show, movie, that really, in the words of good old Peter Griffin, really grinds my gears, is a bitch-ass character that acts tough, but deep down, like, they are the weakest of characters out of them all. Like, you trying to punk the butcher's son, but in reality, you are a terrified little boy.
Yeah. And then
Draco Malfoy is in that good old category. Can't stand Draco bitch ass. Like, don't be the fake tough kid. If you're gonna be that, learn to be that.
They're probably cousins.
Yeah, I'm sure they look like twins in real life.
Yeah, they do resemble each other quite a bit.
Yes, Draco just a little bit taller, but come on, man. I again going back to that, like yes, you said you're losing a direwolf off of you being a bitch, and then the direwolf that had absolutely nothing to do with it, that was clearly back at the castle, probably chilling.
Mm-hmm. Mind your own business.
Right. Had nothing to do with it. And here goes Cersei. Like, nah, y'all got other ones. One of them got to go.
See, and this I think was the start of Cersei's mental abuse of Sansa. Started right here. Because this girl's supposed to be marrying your son. You would think you would want to keep this like a decent, amicable type of relationship. Like, you think she's going to be nice to this girl at some point. But no, right here, we know her dog had nothing to do with it, but you're going to suggest her dog is the one that's murdered? So you're already starting the mental abuse of this girl.
She didn't want no dog. She said you couldn't bring that wolf with you anyway.
Right. They literally, it's episode 2, no telling how long the development in the show was, but they literally just got these dogs an episode ago. Now hers is already gone. 2, basically, because obviously Arya had to get rid of Nymeria because she didn't want Nymeria to die because it had been 2 dogs dying, or 2 direwolves dying.
Yep. So another kind of asterisk in the series, this was the last time that Nymeria and Arya saw each other. For the longest fucking time. Like, that, Arya and Nymeria and Jon and Arya were probably the 2 people who I was waiting to reconnect the most.
The longest. Yeah, the longest. That was probably the biggest gap of, reuniting characters or people that we were waiting on. I agree.
Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I feel like with these wolves, it was foreshadowing each character's attachment to the North. Because Lady was just like, she was just killed, basically, like, brutally. They were going to have the butcher do it, but then Ned took over. And it's like Sansa only stayed in the South because of what happened to Ned. And then Nymeria, Arya ran her away. Only reason Arya was not back in the North was because of after what happened with Ned, she ran away.
Right.
Or they had her
and
with
she
the
stayed
people.
In a while. Yeah. Okay.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I didn't even think about it like that, but you're right. Like, Arya just got back. We know how her story arc goes up to the current of the show. But you're right. You're absolutely right. That's exactly how it seems, knowing their journeys after these first 2 episodes.
Of what's to come. Yeah. We meet the Hound. One of my probably top 5, probably top 10.
Fire armor out the gate. Had the Hound face armor.
Yeah, fucking rode down a little fat kid and killed him. Yeah. So we see he also is just another person who's like, what the fuck? Hey, you do what you gotta do.
All right, hold on. I heard what you just said. All right, we can not go top 5 episodes. We can go top 5 characters. What's your top 5? You don't have to put them in order, but what's your top 5 characters? Then?
Okay, Jon, Arya, the Hound.
You said Jon really fast, so Jon's clearly your number 1.
Yeah, Jon's number 1. I mean, yeah, Jon's number 1. I think Jon's number 1. Jon's number 1. Yeah. What did I have? 2 more left?
I believe so.
I said Tyrion.
Yeah, Tyrion. Jon, Arya, Tyrion.
The Hound. And I'd have to say, kind of rounding out that top 5 for me. Fuck. That's hard because it's easy to say Daenerys, but I almost feel like honorable mention up in there has to go to like, what's her face? With the from the blue people, not the blue people. Jesus Christ, their banner colors were blue. The one who was married to Renly, the Tyrells.
No.
Oh, Olenna?
Marjorie, actually.
Marjorie. Surprising.
That would have to be like towards that, like. Yeah, that's kind of flexing in my top 5. So now since we've thrown that out there, who's yours?
It's gonna be very unpopular. This is my personal favorite now. Personal 5. I would say Dany and Jon are 1A and 1B.
Are we getting a 1A and a 1B section?
Yeah, I mean, we gotta go to 3. We gotta go to 3 after this. 1A and 1B. Probably because I mean, obviously Tyrion is in there. I'm just an Arya fan. I like how she has developed, and I have a 5th character that has not made the show yet, who I just I rock with, man. I like Bronn.
Yeah. He's up there for sure.
I like Bronn. He's good guy. Right side, but I don't know. I like Bronn. Thought Bronn was a cool character.
He is. Armani, what's yours?
My top 5, I'd say Olenna, Tyrell, definitely number 1.
G.
Tyrion, Theon's sister. What's her? Yara. And then Arya. And for my number 5, I'd say the Sand Snakes.
See, I was like, I feel like they would be probably top 10 somewhere in there. Like, they might be like 9 or 10 though.
Like they definitely made it just off that episode when, like, okay, what they did was not right to Myrcella, but it was like when they just started taking everybody out, that like when they were leaving Dorne, I was like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, in the reality of looking back on the show, they was probably the most cold-blooded killers in the show. They were ruthless.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back on the other characters in the show, and they were nasty.
Where were they from again?
Dorne.
They were from Dorne. Okay.
They were from Dorne.
So there was
only reason why I would disagree with you. I agree with you, but the only reason why I disagree with you because they weren't in many episodes.
Yeah, that's like number 5.
Let's see. Okay, where are we else? Okay, so
Yara is good though. I like Yara.
Yeah. Speaking, Yara is about to be one of those Funko Pops I need to track down because they came out with the Yara Greyjoy pop after New York Comic Con, and I need to get my hands on that. So, totally off topic. Okay, so
where is she? So I want to know. Answer that question. Season 8.
Yo, yeah. Ooh,
bring my warrior boo back. She like a Game of Thrones Xena.
For real. That whole once we get to that part like that, yeah.
We gotta really break that down. That Theon is a very interesting character in the show. He is the king of the roller coaster in the show. I feel like he's the character that has the biggest roller coaster in the show because I hate him.
Yes.
Then I like him. Then I hate him. Then I like him.
Him and Sansa's journeys are like so parallel in the shit that they go through.
Bro, seriously.
It's just like
they go through it.
I wouldn't be surprised if those two ended up together at the end of the series.
You know what? Might have to slide Sansa in there. Trying to think, because she just because of her.
See them actually doing that, just for the fact that low key it was his fault that she got put in that position with the Boltons.
True.
Like if Theon hadn't overruled or like tried to take over Winterfell, quote unquote, they wouldn't have been in that situation.
True.
True.
Okay, so episode 3, Lord Snow. So they get back. So this is a month later. So now a month has gone by from episode 1 to 3 because they're back in King's Landing. We meet Peter Baelish. So we meet Littlefinger, who to me will always be Tommy Carcetti.
Number 1, number 2, worst nickname, worst life. By far the worst nickname of the show.
Yeah, I wouldn't be letting people call me Littlefinger if I was a grown ass man.
Yeah.
Issues.
We have to change that up. We meet Lord Varys. So, the freaking like manipulating duo
he
there.
He will forever be Uncle Fester.
Yeah.
He low-key Uncle Fester to me.
Sansa is got all this attitude about, how much she loves Joffrey and how that's gonna be her king, and
I love him.
Ugh. We get Ned with
the ugh.
Yeah. Because
why ugh?
Because she was caping so hard for him. You don't even know him. Like
she was still doing it even after, like she clearly lied and then got her wolf killed.
Yeah, you still over here, bitch. How much you love him? Like, girl, who raised you?
Would you, if the roles were reversed and you were trying to become part of royalty? Because that was her end goal. Her end goal was being royalty. What would you do for royalty back then?
She was already pretty royal, though.
No, well, okay, I get what you're saying, and it's funny because you say that because while playing Red Dead, we were having this discussion of like how would we be in the Wild West, and it just made me think of that, like this time period, like what role would you have taken on in this?
True. You can either marry, like, just case in point for my thought process of the royalty that Monty said, like, would you want to be marrying a governor's son or the president's son?
Yeah, I mean, she was naive. She was just very naive.
Stupid? No, don't say naive. Don't subtly SAT word. Just say she was stupid. Real basic. She was dumb.
She was so young. Yeah, she was just. I guess I wouldn't have been friends with her at 13.
Yeah, nah, definitely not.
Like 13-year-old Nicole would have been like, "Bitch, what is wrong with you?" And I probably would have said,
"Fuck on my face," type stuff.
Yeah, like what? You know.
Basically, like how Arya was doing her.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Get your whole life. So Ned finds Arya with Needle and lets her keep it. When they were talking, that was a nice little scene. That was nice because it's like clearly Ned understands his kids. Like he understands, at least his daughters. Like you see he has a good relationship with his daughters. He's attentive. He understands Arya is not a lady. That's not what she wants. She don't want to be like Sansa. So, he gets her, sets her up to her little dancing lessons, aka her sword, lessons. And he fosters that.
Yeah.
Which I thought was nice. And sad as fuck.
See, continuing the sad podcast.
Yeah, continuing the theme here. Everything with sad at this point is just sadness. Let's see. This is when Kat and them start to kind of investigate what was going on, whose sword that was, because after the
attempt on Bran's life, it's clear that he didn't just fall.
All right, so how the fuck it took a month and took 2 episodes for him to get from Winterfell back to King's Landing, but in the same episode, Catelyn got from Winterfell to King's Landing.
In like 15 minutes of the show.
So it's just like, so we've skipped, like they've been there for a minute.
Again, though, but this is with a caravan of people. Catelyn was just going by herself.
So and who she go with?
By yourself.
No, but she went with the one dude. Forgot his name. But you're right. You're basically right. Like she went with one dude. Okay,
so I guess because that's when she Littlefinger like hides her. Is that in this episode? That's when Jon starts training. And okay, so we learned the sword was Tyrion's. So yeah, this is when she got back there because it was Littlefinger who spoke to her and who told her that knife belonged to Tyrion, which I don't see. That to me was a little bit too. I mean, again, we know we're watching a show. We know there has to be progression, but it's just one of those moments like. So we just gonna put the person's gonna give like their identifiable weapon to the person to commit this crime and leave it there with them. Like that just didn't. That's one of them like
things where it's like it was a clear setup.
Yeah. Like, sure, we'll buy this. What's happening?
We're rolling with this right now.
We needed to give him a special weapon to kill somebody anyway.
Yeah, like you just gotta kill a little boy. What you need this like special ass Valyrian shield?
Foreshadowing. Don't get too far ahead. That's I want to jump so far ahead, but foreshadowing.
Yeah, here we go.
We'll come back to this later in the podcast, people. Like down the river in some weeks and months.
We Commander Mormont at the wall, so we get Jon at the wall training, and this is his little moment for his brief moment of because he was raised in this nice home, came from this nice family, so he think he's a little bit better than everybody because he knows something. He think he knows some things.
Ooh! All right. Viserys is number 1. Number 2 was the other homie. What's the other homie that was Commander Mormont's like right hand man?
I could not. Well, you know what? We were talking about him before we started recording, and
number 2 on the hit list of Game of Thrones. Like, hated that dude. Can't remember his name though. The guy that was talking smack about Jon when he was in the whole circle beating everybody up.
And then was like taunting him.
Yeah. Can't remember his name. We'll get it. But yeah, number 2 on the hit list. He could not stand him because it would just
Alistair Thorne.
There you go.
Thorne. Yeah, that guy was.
How Arya has a list, I need to make a list.
Yeah, he just for no reason. It was like, what was you really?
That's why we understood why Viserys was what he was. He was trying to get this Iron Throne back. You, bro, no reason at all. You ain't going nowhere. You stuck at the wall. Knock it off.
We also in this episode get to see Dany step up to Viserys. Speaking of which, this is when she stopped the Khalasar for. What reason did she stop them for?
Hold on. Did she stand up to him? Or did he get neck checked by the homie, neck whip checked by the homie before she even had a chance to stand up to him?
True.
He sure snatched him up. Like, nah, you walking, bro.
I feel like with that, it kind of gave her a sense of what she could do. Because she could have had old dude kill him if she wanted to, but she was like, no, I don't want my brother harmed.
This is when she was coming into herself, I guess, more than.
She looked up and realized, like, oh, I am a Khaleesi. I'm tripping. I'm got a little flex. Let me flex on these cats real quick. Nah, leave him alone. Don't touch him. He can walk though.
Yeah. So he gets humble real quick, get a quick gut check, and then we get Benjen going beyond the wall and tells John he can't go. You got to stay here. You still a young pup. So this was the last. This was the true. Oh, I mean, this was the last time John saw anybody in his family. So when Benjen left.
Yeesh.
Yeah. And that was how episode 3 wrapped up. So a lot of shit starts happening. Like, it really picks up steam after these first 3 episodes.
Yeah, I feel like all of this was really like the build up, like giving you plotting the essential seeds to the oncoming seasons.
Yeah.
These rotten, spoiled seeds. Game of Thrones really rips your heart out sometimes. Like they going back, and I'm gonna start reliving this. This is the first time I'm gonna, because obviously we doing a podcast, you kind of really got to analyze a lot of little small intricacies and this here and that there, and it's gonna really make you realize how seriously sad Game of Thrones is sometimes.
Yeah, and just the
it makes for great TV. It makes for fantastic television.
It does. Like HBO. Okay, so what do you think were some of the best series of all time? I was gonna say HBO.
I got into this argument the other day to the point to where this was on Facebook because what happened? I can't remember what happened. It's leaving me right now. But the long story short is, my homeboy was that's what it was. Well, I guess my cousin posted on my page like the Game of Thrones marathon is on. I was like, I'm already about to do a podcast like every week with some good friends of mine. And my boy jumped in and was like, I gotta get on it. I ain't, I'm not hip, and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, bruh, you're not hip. You tripping. HBO got it on lock. I was talking to a friend of mine today, like Netflix is catching up to HBO, but HBO got it on lock. And I started running off series, and my boys was like, damn, you must work for HBO. I'm like, nah, HBO just got quality programming. What you want me to do? There's quality programming that's gotten canceled on HBO that I was mad that got canceled. Like, there's a show that I don't know, nobody has ever watched. It was only on for 2 seasons, but it was a great, like, coming of age, dudes trying to build up a business show, had a lot of guests. It's kind of like a mini Entourage. It's called How to Make It in America. And they canceled that show. It's a really good show that I liked. But, I mean, as far as HBO's quality programming, I mean, come on, man. You got, obviously, Game of Thrones, Westworld, The Wire, Oz, Boardwalk Empire, Sopranos.
Carnival.
Yes.
True Blood. We'll say
True
up to
Blood,
the
True Blood for sure. Entourage, obviously.
Yeah. HBO probably overall networks. I would probably put HBO at number 1. I might put AMC.
Did you say? Wait. Did you say probably? Please give me another network that is.
Okay, you're right. No, HBO is definitely number 1 when it comes to overall programming. So you're right. There's because The Wire.
We ain't even gotten the TV shows. You ain't talking about like Hard Knocks and Ballers and Insecure and like other 30-minute, not hour-long shows. They got 30-minute shows too. The Deuce, Veep, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
True. So HBO has number 1, and which I think, and they always sweep the Emmys. Like, I think they usually win the most Emmys
every single year.
Every year. Number 2, I would have to say, is probably FX for me at this point. Because
run the shows. I only watch a few on FX.
Sons of Anarchy.
Well, yeah.
Nip Tuck.
I was never a Nip Tuck fan.
I
watched some episodes, but it just.
Yeah, Nip Tuck was the shit back in the day. Like, that was when you realized that FX was trying to compete with HBO, because that's when they started dropping F-bomb, and there was like checks on TV. It was like, hold up, like, this is not HBO and this is going on this channel. So you knew FX was trying to be a contender with their programming back when Nip Tuck was on, but that was a good ass show.
Right.
But Sons for sure. Then we just got the Mayans.
American Horror Story.
American Horror Story. Kurt Sutter had another show.
Atlanta.
There you go. See, so FX is number 2.
FX is number 2 over AMC.
Only because the AMC to me only had The Walking Dead and Mad Men. That's the only thing I've watched on AMC.
Breaking Bad.
Okay, so I watched Breaking Bad on Netflix.
But Breaking Bad was AMC, so you gotta add that in there.
What about Showtime?
Californication, Shameless, Weeds,
Dexter
for sure. Ray Donovan.
Ray Donovan was some shit.
Oh man, hey.
Power. No,
Power Stars.
Okay.
Oh, Power's on Showtime. Showtime would be jumping. Showtime be jumping FX. I mean, if we're going series, then yeah, you gotta go HBO, and then. But we're going content. Netflix is probably number 2.
You think so?
Yeah, they gotta. Over the past 2 years, Netflix with this original content has really been, because they putting money into stuff, which is becoming successful. And a lot of people are flocking to it and giving it good ratings, and that's why obviously they're getting more and more money. And I can't wait to see what Ava does. I feel like Ava about to shut it down with her projects that she got with Netflix.
Yeah. This is and the Obamas.
Right. I forgot they got that content. They got that deal.
I think Netflix is getting ready to build up they're getting ready to have to fight this Disney fight. Because I think once Disney launches, Netflix is about to come out with a whole bunch of shit, just to kind of slow that down.
But Disney's not going to win, though. I get it. You're going to have your Disney content. You're going to have your Marvel and all that stuff on there. And they're coming out with original content. But the original content they're coming out with is not going to... I don't think it's for the masses like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think everybody is going to digest it like they would all the Netflix content.
But and Netflix content, is that... And this is kind of tapping into the next regular House of Words episode, but you want to talk about since we're kind of on it. Is this the reason why, having that availability of content though on Netflix, there's no sense of urgency to watch it? So you're just okay, I'll catch it when I catch it?
Yes.
And is that the reason now, because it's coming out that Disney is not the reason that Daredevil was canceled? Half the fucking writers on Daredevil didn't know that it was getting canceled until it got announced that it was canceled. So they didn't know. They had season 4 storyboard. They thought they were reading a season 4 of Daredevil, and the shit gets canceled. So it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with Disney. It has to do with the ratings dropping on these shows, and they're expensive to make. So, because I haven't watched this season of Daredevil, because I'm I'll watch it when I watch it. There's no sense of urgency for me to watch it.
Mm-hmm. It's not going nowhere.
Stuff also hurting them.
So what's the question? You think that
having all of this having so much content readily available just so quickly, there's no sense of urgency to actually watch it. So you've probably got good shit sitting there that's never been watched.
100%. I hear so many things, and I've heard of so many things that by the time I got around to it, I was like, damn, they told me about this 3 months ago, and I finally got around to it, and it was really good. But I think that Netflix's content is still going to be so much more in-depth and so much more wide range and variety than anything Disney puts out. Because we all know that Disney's going to have all the Disney movies and all the, Star Wars and Marvel and stuff like that. And it's just, I know that there's going to be a following of people that will go see that, but at the end of the day, there's only so much of that you can watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we talked about that last episode. We're talking about, what's going to make people, because you've got to appeal to people our age, because we're the people who pay for these streaming services, correct, not 10-year-olds who watch Disney XD, correct, but you're going to have all of that Disney XD stuff on there. You'll have all of the old school Disney Channel stuff that came on, in the 90s. But
I'm gonna get it. Of course they're gonna suck me in. Of course I'm gonna get it. But I know that I will gravitate unless you guys come up with, just like you said, something that's gonna have me pulled to Disney. I'm gonna gravitate towards Netflix and even Hulu for that matter, because obviously Hulu's got the market on the
TV shows.
The TV shows, and the next day, drops. So what is Disney gonna do differently that's gonna have people to say, nah, I need to get Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Or whatever. Is that the name of it? Whatever the name of it is.
Yep, faux shizzle. So
I need to watch my. And plus, I watch the stuff anyway. I got Lion King on DVD. I got all of the Marvel movies on DVD. Like, I don't necessarily have to go to the app to look at things that I already have.
True.
I don't got Narcos on DVD.
I just started watching Narcos Mexico the other day too.
Right. I watched the first episode. Which you gotta have it in your head. You gotta mentally be prepared to know that you're about to read subtitles for the next.
That's the tough thing about Narcos, like, because I'm so bad about watching stuff and doing other stuff, like on my phone or just doing other things. Narcos, you gotta look at the TV.
Yeah, so you're gonna miss everything. You can't not look at the TV because you gotta look at the TV.
Yeah, that forces you to actually be in the programming,
which is sit down and focus.
That's probably smart of them to do, because they could have easily done this and just done it in English. They didn't have to do it in Spanish.
No.
And it could have still rocked.
Yeah, you have to be invested. You have to watch. You have to pay attention. I'm with it. You got to focus. So just like you said, I got to mentally prepare. I got to put my phone down. Got to not be doing 18 other things. Like, I'm just like you. I could be watching something and playing on my phone and still get the show and still know what's going on. But you can't do that with Narcos.
So one thing we were going to touch on at the end as we wind this episode down is we all just seen Creed this week. So we're going to go ahead and spoil the shit out of it because it's been out long enough. If people have not seen it and they're listening to this, then oh well.
Spoiler alert.
It's in the title. There will be spoilers. So what did you think about Creed 2? What were your thoughts?
I enjoyed it. However, it was very predictable. That's about it. I don't even need to get into a deep dive on it. It's if you saw the first one, you know how the second one goes without watching it. That's not to say it isn't good, but you can take a guess on watching the trailer and go, yeah, I know what Creed 2 is all about, and you'll be right.
Yeah, you will be. And I feel like it felt different. Like, I felt like you could tell Ryan Coogler, you could feel the difference in the two.
Yes, you felt the absence.
I feel like the first one was about Creed. This second one to me felt more of a Rocky movie. Like, I just felt like it was just more
integrated. Should you say?
I guess integrated, colonized, call it what you
want. I didn't mean like that.
But it just felt more like it was just more of. It was more about, like, obviously, I feel like this was a Rocky movie with Creed in the background to me. Like, I just feel like there was more Rocky
100%.
than Creed.
100%. And they did a bad job of trying to tie it back into something that didn't have to even. Okay, case in point. You're right. It was a Rocky movie with Creed in the background, but it wasn't even Adonis Creed in the background.
Yeah.
It was Apollo. Because it kept making it about, like, he killed your father and your father this, and there was always a Apollo in the background picture or story or video, or, you know what I mean? So it wasn't even Donnie's story. It was him trying to write, quote unquote, write his own legacy, but the write his own legacy meant that you had to focus on the Drago Rocky legacy.
Yeah. Like, and to me, I almost feel like that kind of almost put me off a little bit. I get why the fight ended up in Russia, but once again, you lose the first fight at home like your dad did when your dad died. But then
there's a difference in losing and getting absolutely smoked. That kid, the boy, he got smoked.
Yeah, he almost died.
The kid was He was in the hospital with a grade 3 concussion. Them grade 3 concussions is like real brain damage.
Ruptured kidney, broken.
Yes. Broken ribs.
And then we came to Russia, and you do what Rocky did. Like you essentially solidified to me Rocky's, legacy more so than even his dad's. Like, because you just repeated what Rocky did.
It felt like a Rocky send off, which it was, because we all, if you don't know, Sylvester Stallone said that was the last time he's going to do anything for any Rocky Creed storyline. But it felt like a Rocky send off.
Yeah, it definitely was.
And there's not going to be, like, I don't see a Creed 3 coming.
I don't want to watch a Creed 3.
Yeah,
we don't.
Like,
I love Michael B. Jordan, and I want him to win, but
I don't. Where do you go from this at this point? Yeah. Like, there's no. So it felt way more like a Rocky send off than a Creed sequel.
Yeah, I think we've lost the possibility for a trilogy. Like, if this could have been a trilogy, that's gone. Like, we don't need it.
And to be perfectly honest, I don't want to see a Creed without Rocky in it. You know what I mean? Like, I want the connection. I don't want it to be a Rocky movie, but I still want the connection of, like, Rocky training his best friend's son, and you know what I mean? Like, I still need that part of it. But yeah, I don't want to see a Creed without Rocky.
You know what I love about
it? What if I try to see Wood Harris as his trainer? Yeah.
So that's what
I rock with Ace, man. That's Ace. I rock with him, but like, come on, I'm good.
To see Avon coaching Wallace to box.
Yeah, like, I'm good. You can keep that. I need Rocky with the slow the slow talking, Bobby. I need that. I don't need your kid. I'm good.
Yeah, that's really all I kept thinking about. I say, yo, you had him killed when he was little. So.
Yeah, and he almost had him killed in the movie. Throw the towel, B. Nah, he gonna shrug his shoulders and test him like, the kid don't want to come out. Man, if you don't throw that damn towel. He got one eye and standing up halfway because he got a broken rib. You like, yeah, go ahead and finish that. Man.
So that's another thing. Like, and we went back and rewatched the first Creed after watching Creed 2, and Tessa Thompson's Philly girl thing is just so it ain't real.
Yeah, like
really?
I've been up north. I know what the Philly girls are.
Yeah, it was.
Even if you don't know if you don't know anybody from Philly, just listening to her talk and say those things, you just felt out of place. Right. Like this wouldn't come out your mouth.
The best part of Creed 2 is they went to the best cheesesteak spot in Philly in the movie.
I mean, I'm biased. I don't feel like the best cheesesteaks in Northeast or even in Philly. I feel like they're in Jersey, but okay.
That means you ain't never been to Max's before.
I have. But I still feel like Gitano's is better, but that's just me.
Hey, podcasters, it's been real. I am Mo Ruffins. It's been a pleasure. I am logging off because this crazy lady said she been to Max's, and that was not even an emotion after that. She just shrugged that shit off. Oh, okay. You been to Ishkabibbles too?
No, I haven't.
Hey, what's up with you, man? So you've been to Geno's and Pat's is what you're trying to say. That's your favorite.
No, I just said Gitano's in Jersey.
Who?
Gitano's in New Jersey.
And Willingboro, shout out to Borough. I should hit you with the same shrug that you just hit me with. They're good. They ain't Max's. First off, the cheesesteaks ain't as big. If you want a cheesesteak, give me that. I need a whole house. Put the whole house on the bread. You know what I'm saying? Y'all bread ain't as soft as Max's either.
Yo, you know what? Total side note, we're gonna take a road trip. Like,
what's up? You ain't gotta tell me twice. As long as you know me, you know I travel. What's up? You ain't gotta tell me twice. I'm all over the place.
Yeah, so that's gonna be planned out for like the summer.
It's gonna be a live video podcast.
Yeah. On that note, we have a Patreon, housebirds.com, so you can do this little quest to prove who has the best cheesesteaks.
Oh, please do.
But yeah, okay, so Tessa Thompson as well, because this is my feeling also watching this. Like, I like Tessa Thompson.
Sure do, love her.
I want her to succeed because I am going to support, Black women doing your thing. But I am ready to see Tessa Thompson play a lead in a movie and shine. Like, I feel like Creed, it was the back burner. We get that kind of airy voiced Tessa Thompson.
She was a lead in the movie and she shined. It just wasn't a major. It wasn't a major release.
I don't feel like we've seen her. I don't feel like we have gotten her best. And I'm saying this as I want, and I think she has the ability to deliver more. I don't think we've seen Tessa Thompson really do her damn thing. Like, I don't feel like I ain't seen it yet.
I loved her in Dear White People.
You know what? I didn't watch Dear White People.
I didn't watch
why,
she was like,
she was
you don't feel that way because you haven't seen Dear White People.
All right, I'm gonna go watch Dear White People.
I'm dead serious. She was the 100% lead in that movie, and she was in a full black girl black girl magic mode.
Okay,
100%. Right. You ain't seen Dear White People, but again, Dear White People wasn't like the major theatrical release.
Yeah.
It was select theaters. But I'm with you. But if you watch Dear White People, I think you'll change your mind.
Okay. All right. So, because it's like we're getting ready to see her in all, and I feel like she's becoming Hollywood's go-to light-skinned black girl.
100%. She's supposed to be in the new Avengers. You know, she's about to get her starring role on in that new Men in Black. So that's gonna be her first. I think that's gonna be her first major. She's been in other major motion pictures, obviously, but that's gonna be her first major movie release as the main character.
The lead, yeah. So that's gonna be interesting to see. I want that to do well just because I love Men in Black. But
yeah, I didn't know how to feel about that. Not gonna lie. So I heard the rumors and saw the trailer and I was just like,
There's a trailer for it?
No, I'm just saying like so they were not the trailer, like an interview on it.
Oh.
So, like I saw the background and I saw like their social medias and them filming. I was like, I don't know how to feel about this one.
Yeah.
Like I am a big fan of remakes just because I like to see someone else put their spin on quote unquote classics or movies that might be good or TV shows or whatever. But you got to come with it, and I don't know where they're gonna go with this one.
So it's supposed to be a remake of the first one?
I think it's supposed to be a standalone. Like they're rebooting it.
Yeah.
That's what they said. They're like rebooting the Men in Black franchise, and it's gonna be like its own storyline, and they're gonna. You know, movies that reboot, but they still pay, homage to like the other movies somehow. But I don't know where they're gonna go with this.
So, just kind of wrap up the Creed talk because it is like my last like point on this movie. There was a missed opportunity in this movie with the music. So I feel like if you're gonna come out to Icon, they should have had the Will Smith remix version of Icon at that point.
No, hell no.
What?
Hell no. You gonna reggaeton this entrance of a boxing championship match? Absolutely not.
What? Like the whole thing of this was you're supposed to be doing your, reclaiming, going back, fighting for your dad and stuff like that.
Vehemently disagree with that. That Icon original beat. Now listen, I ain't even gonna lie to you. Probably the hardest part in the movie. Like the lights,
it was
the light show in it, and then the beat drop. Oh my goodness.
It really was.
I was in the movie with the head bop around nothing but white people. No offense, white fans, but I'm a tall ass big black dude, and I'm over here like, oh shit, I got Jaden rocking, and everybody else is still, and I'm over here beating in the seat like, just an Icon lip. I'm like, yo, this is hard right now, and then all bad.
Yeah, it was downhill after that moment.
Yeah, it was pretty downhill. But I was rocking to that point. It was tough.
That was like one of the best entrances, like for something. And I feel like it was such a short. I feel like there should have been more. Like I wanted more out of that scene. Like I don't know. I just wanted more out of it.
I don't know. I watched a real life boxing match last night, and Deontay Wilder had a really tough intro last night. He had a light show too, and he came out looking like a Game of Thrones character. And listen. You can see I'm sure you can YouTube it. Just YouTube Deontay Wilder's intro, and he had J-Rock come out and perform "Win," which is a sports. This is the current sports good song to play. I mean, you want to win, 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 win. J-Rock was actually performing it.
Oh God, you mean the one from 2K?
Yeah. Yep. So J-Rock was actually performing it. He came out with like this like long cape on with like feathers around the neck and like the shredder mask with like the gold shredder mask and a gold like Game of Thrones crown on his head. It's a pretty dope intro. Not even gonna lie.
All right.
That was real life. So I'm sure it's on YouTube. I'll look it up and see if I could, because it was on pay-per-view last night, but I don't know if anybody recorded it. I'm sure somebody might have been like, "This is dope enough to record and put it on social media," but it's a pretty good intro. But I don't know, it still wouldn't touch on Michael B. Jordan because that was hard. It's cool. Another tangent. Like I was happy for Jaden in that moment because I've always thought Jaden was really talented. I've listened to him for years. And when that icon dropped, now everybody heard him, and I was just like, "Yeah, bro, Jaden been doing this for years." That icon was just hard.
Yeah, I like Jaden.
Yeah.
Armani put me onto that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
good job
for a while now. So I'm glad he's getting the recognition. He's a talented kid.
Also on Jaden, his that anime that he has is coming to Netflix, I believe this week or next week, if not today.
The second season?
Neo
Yokio or something like that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it's like Neo Yokio Pink Christmas or something like that.
Oh, the Christmas special.
Okay, yeah, that's coming, I think, this week. It might have dropped today. Netflix had put out a thing, because like all the Fridays are coming to Netflix. I believe those drop today or tomorrow. But yeah, Netflix Black put out a thing of all the stuff coming to Netflix this month. And that was within that first week. So, yeah. Anybody else got anything else?
No.
All right. Well, then. You can, wherever you're listening to this, if you're listening to this on Apple, if you have an Apple podcast app on your phone, take a minute. Hit a rating, leave a comment, leave some feedback. Let us know what you think about the episodes. You can follow in on this conversation using the hashtag BlurredPod on Twitter. We'll obviously, once we get closer to Game of Thrones, and what is it? What is the hashtag this year for Game of Thrones?
It's not them thrones still?
No, we're not going to talk about that. It's For the Throne. Is the HBO official hashtag is For the Throne this year to follow on with Game of Thrones conversations. Again, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, leave feedback, tell us what you think, your thoughts on these first 3 episodes. And then next week, we will go through episodes probably 4, 5, 6?
4, 5, 6.
4, 5, 6. So until then, take care of yourselves and be good to each other.
Yeah, please do that.